Alright guys, so here again we are and we are going to deal with in Perl programming with the formats. So formats are nothing but the beautification of any programming language and in a proper way of handling the data in which we want to represent it on the output screen, right? So this is how the formatting is being done. In Python programming, we have an inbuilt structure of doing it in a step-by-step case, right? But here, if you want to beautify your output of data or input, so you have to do it manually, right? So it, instead of going through any of this details, what I really do, I simply show you here a demonstration of that, right? So basically in this program, what we are trying to do here, try to understand. We want to format some information of employee. Uh, so I want it in a proper format, that is name should be at a particular place, age should be at a particular place, and it's followed by some salary. It should be at some particular place, right? So let's see how the execution of this particular program looks like. See, so I want name to be at a particular place, that is at starting. So I put its name here as Ali. Okay. Now I want the age of this particular employee at a particular location, so I'm putting it here as a 20. Now I want salary to be at a particular position, so it is like 25, 20,000, 2,000, whatever be the amount you wish to give. So we actually trying to do what we are trying to put here in a particular format, right? So what kind of format I want? I want these three particular values to be repeated time and again, right? These three particular values, that is the name of the person, then age, and then salary. You want to simply put it in a particular format. So what I try to do here, I just simply select it out. Select the standout command is there, and then employee details are there. And for every command, I'm simply repeating this statement. So whatever be the statement is going to print, it is printing in a this particular format. So this is what the formats available in Perl program, right? So then how you wish to show some kind of the similar program is there, how wish to show to the header of this particular. So what is the format here? Format is employee, right? Format employee is equals to, I want what initially the name of this particular thing and then age. So I have defined a format, and at this starting I want the name of that particular company's person, employee's name, and then followed by the age. And this is the format which I wish to apply. So what I do here, I simply run this program, and I have stored this entire program at the rate n, right? So it is taking the loop values one by one by one. And if I see a live demo of this, then what it does, it is simply execute this program, and you can say in what particular way I wish to have my things. So name should be a format and age. This format has been defined. Here this format has been defined with the help of this format command. Employee is equals to. So what are my details? This is what the employee details are, right? So employee details. Employee, I want here the uh, what I really say that. Employee should be there, so here it should be the like employee thing. And then further on moving by simply applying the loop, you can see that how the format is being printed. So it is a kind of beautification facility provided by the Perl programming, so that you can easily understand the concepts related to the software. Okay, so now what else is there? Let's try to understand. Okay. So what are the basic ways to do that, right? So I want a format like this. So I need a format. So to declare a format, right here in the particular format, write employee, select standard output, and then what I really wish to print there, employee, and then let's see here format, and I want to print what employee, and what are my variables, name, age, and salary. Okay, name, age, and salary is being going on here. So now format is what? It is saying what? I want to print the employee information, then I used to use this tilde for the standard output. Select what? Standard output. And this tilde is storing entire information of the employee, and how this employee is falling into this category by simply applying the arrays. And each array has been running here, and whatever the format which we are getting is being printed over here in the terms of the variable which is being called. this is how the format works. It is used for the beautification or whatever way you want to represent to the output screen. Right. So this is how the beautification of the Python, no, sorry, Perl program. Now report header if you wish to do, then you can do. Then pagination you want to do. So these are what very basic standardized things. So you can always work accordingly, right? So this is how the beautification known as format in the Perl tutorial. And after this, we are moving to a very important thing that is known as file handling. Okay. So how file handling is being done? See guys, we have already understand the concept of a variable. Variable does what? Variable stores a particular holds a value temporarily until or unless nothing is being overwritten on that particular variable. Once your stop running your program, the value of the value which stored its variable also dies. But we do not always want this kind of situation to be dealt with. We want sometimes to data to be get stored, right? So how could we be able to do this thing? For the purpose of saying in every programming language, the concept of file input and output has been introduced, right? So from the file handling concept, what we actually get into the notice that we have started storing our data. How we used to do this thing at the early times? We used to do this thing in the terms of file. So file used to do what? It is having different pages, it is having different chapters, units. In that way, we were storing the data or some kind of information in it. So in Perl programming also, we are having the concept of file handling. So the file handling, basic of handling files are very simple. You have to associate the name of a file with some external entity, and you have to let the system know that what kind of operation you are performing on that particular file. Right. So what are the different ways to do this thing? Right. Yes, first we understand this, and then we move ahead and understand the programming level behavior. So what are the ways through which we do? We open a file handle and expression, then we open a system open, then file handle, file name, mode, then this binary mode, readable, writable mode, followed by the form. Right? Then what we have open function here. Then we need to open a function so that we can open a file. If a file is pre-existing in a system, that it will then it will open. If it does not, then we have to give some command through the FL statement, through the catch throw statement, right? So that we come to know whether a file is existing or in system or not. How Python deals with this concept? Let's try to understand. First of all, I wish you all to read this particular and understand this particular paragraph. I'm giving a 2 to 3 seconds of pause for this. Okay, so here what has happened? A data file is being handled, right? So what is the basic command for that? Open data and name of the file. Okay, or. If you are not able to do such kind of thing, then or die. Then you cannot be able to open this file because this command is not working. If the file is not existing in a system, then if the file exists, then print dollar and underscore. Then you catch this particular file at this place and simply print it, right? So following that syntax, that is opening in the mode, here greater than symbol sign indicates the file has to be opened in the writing mode, right? So you have to understand that this particular symbol is being letting you that this you have to open this particular file in the writing mode. Okay. Now greater less than symbol indicates this, and this has been shown here because this particular bracket is not closed yet. This angular bracket is not closed yet. This means it is having something different now. This example, what it is trying to do, it actually empties the file before writing for it, right? So which is not be required. And let us suppose if you want to open a file for updating without truncating any of the data, you do not want to destroy the previous stored data, then you have to write a plus over. To truncate a file, you just have to put plus and then greater than symbol, right? Now what you wish to do, another thing is you want to open a file in append mode, in which you wish to write in a file from the end of that. So you have to put double angular brackets over here. So it is indicating a kind of string in which you wish to write some data from the end. Or. If you are not able to do that, then simply applying or. operations you need to understand while handling the concept of files. Right? Less than or R is the read-only access facility which you are giving. Greater than or W is the writing facility, truncate facility, or the creation of file. Then greater than or A is helping in appending. Appending means what? From the end of the file, we start some writing some data, right? So previous data is not going to delete or remove from that particular file. Again, this particular greater than symbol or A is again helps you. If file is not there, then to write in that file, or if file is not available, then it will help you in creating file. Then the symbol exists which says read and write. So plus and less than symbol, read and write, and again read R is to read and plus is to write. Similarly, this particular exists, right? So these are what of basic operations which you can perform whenever you are trying to open a file. Okay, so let's suppose it is saying what? Plus greater than greater than. Okay, so plus greater than says what? Read, write, appends, and create a file. Right? Read, write, appends, and create a file. So it is giving entire permission. Read, write, append, and create a file. So if they get this particular kind of command, this means you are telling the system if a file is there, then read that file. If a file is uh, already there and user want to write something in it, so start appending from the end of that particular file. If a file not existing in the system, then please create a file, right? So this is what the basic commands in which we actually try to work in the file handling program. Now, moving ahead from here, then we need to understand that if a file is there, then what kind of command is required here. So, what kind of command is required? System open, right? So, you need to open that particular file. System open data, name of the file, and after that, you wish to perform that particular operation. Okay, you want to read and write in this particular program or truncate a file. So, this kind of options you are required. So, what are the basic commands for that? This is what read and write, read only, open and write only, open and create only, open and append, open and truncate, open and check if file already exists, right? And so these are what the basic commands. So once you have opened a file, then it is mandatory to close that particular file, right? So close command is being followed by close and then the file handling type, right? So you have a file here named what is your name. You want to put that particular input into the standard output. So you say hello name, and let's see if you are done with your work. Import that particular name into some text file, and then you print that particular file. And once you're done with your job, you need to close. So close and the name of the file data. Sorry, close. You need to close that particular data. Then get function is there to get something into it. Read function is to read some data. Print is to simply print the name of the file. So similar facilities are available like copying the data, renaming of a file, and deleting a file, positioning inside a file. So you need to use the tell function, seek function in this, right? So now let us see a basic program in through which we understand how this particular concept is being working. Okay. Now, what is here, it is trying to say here? Let's understand. What is the basic name file I have given here? That is file1.txt, right? So I wish to check whether this file here is existing or not. If not, then create it. Okay. So that's what my result was to say. That's a greater than symbol. Let's check it here. Greater than, write, creates, and truncates. Right? Create, writes, and truncate. So this is what we wish to check with the help of greater than symbol. So my file handling type is greater than and name of the file, or giving a command dir that it did not open a file name this, right? So if this particular thing exists, if it is not, then it is creating a file. Then what it will done? It will say done, and it will again say we have created this file as an example. Okay. So then if you have opened the file, then you have to close that file pointer, right? So this is what basically a kind of file pointer. So that file pointer is always required to open, and once the task has been done, you are required to close that particular file. Okay. So it is saying what I am done, and then hello, we have created a file. Okay. So this is how this target is being achieved. Now it is saying what I am using strict and some kind of warnings, because what I really wish to do here, I am using an less than symbol here, right? So less than symbol, and in a previous tutorial, in the Django tutorial as well as in the Python socket programming also, I told you that this UTF is used for what? UTF is used for that to understand some kind of a string format has been given to this particular file. Okay, so that UTF is being given. This is what uniform code of international standard which accepts any kind of string in it. Okay, so it is very much used in the socket programming also in any other kind of type of program. But since it's unique all over the world, so that's why you can directly use it. Now less than is read only access. Okay, what is the less than symbol stands for read only access. So let us go to the program itself and then understand that what is this thing going on here. So less than is saying what? Read only. So what I have to do that use struct warnings, file name is the name of that file. Then open the file pointer to read only in the read only mode, encoding the whatever with the string is being written over there. We wish to read that thing, right? So my row is equals to file pointer, and then I'm printing the row, and then simply it is done. Okay. So when the task is being done, it is say done, and my variable file mask array declaration in the same scope, right? So whatever is the task is being required here. See, these two programs are entirely different. First of all, try to understand this thing. In this, we are creating a file. If it is not existing, if it is already there, then we are reading this file. So this program basically wants to tell me that this program has, or this kind of work has already been done in previous particular file, right? So there is no requirement to redo it. Okay, so if you run this particular program from here, it is simply saying that a task has been done and it is already been done by reading this particular file, right? So this file.run.txt is already been existed, opened, and in the readable format it is available. And this program is been saying, okay, fine, the file is there, and you can be able to read that particular. Okay, guys. So this is how the file handling concepts are used to be done in file handling of Perl programming. Okay. So print is there. Then if you wish to rename a file, delete a file, then you can always do such kind of operations in the file, right? So this is a very basic and simple file handling concept in the Perl program. Okay, so I won't go into the little bit that much deep details. Otherwise, um, it will be difficult to understand those concepts. Up to this level, we are done with our syllabus part. So we will be dealing with only this particular. Now I am moving towards the directories. What happens whenever we are dealing with the files? So a file is the what the basic concept you are required to store it somewhere in the directory, right? Like if I say here, let's move to this CMD mode. Okay, so what is this? This is the root directory. This is the child directory. This is subchild directory. And let us suppose if we are having some more directories, then you are be able to see that all these particular kinds of directories available in this particular root directory. Okay, so whatever the file is there, it has been represented by dr right in here. Otherwise, to hold a file, we require a directory. So if you are not having any other directory, then whatever the data I am having, it will be stored in the root directory. But yes, to store a file, you always require some kind of directory. So Perl programming also provides you a facility to store or handle any kind of directory, right? So if you wish to see that how can I be able to see entire list of directories in Perl programming, so simply you just need to see that what kind of temporary files I am having, right? So slash temp slash start. It is going to show you that what is the list of globally available directories over there, right? So this is how a simplest program of handling a file can be done. So similar way you can create a command here like open a directory. If it is there, then which kind of directory I wish to open? Dot directory. Dot is what? This is the kind of directory which are hidden directories, right? So we wish to open such kind of directory. Now, if you wish to open a kind of file which is having the extension as .c, right? So you can be able to see only C programming based on that particular directories. So you have to give this particular kind of command. Now to create a new directory, what is required? Mkdir is the simplest command. We used to do this thing, right? Remove a directory is as simple as rmdir or whatever be the name of command. Change directory if you wish to move from root directory to subdirectory. Then chdir is the command, or sometimes we use simply cd command to do that, right? So these are the basic things which you can do in terms of directories in a Perl program. Okay, guys. So with this, I'm finishing this lecture here. And, soon I will see you with the error handling commands, right? And then we move towards the database as well as the socket program. Okay, guys. So that's it for today's lecture. See you later.